Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome into Mama Sparks episode 4. We will see if this actually comes to fruition because my streaming platform, recording platform keeps crashing on me and I'm hardwired into the internet. So I'm just gonna use a little faith, hope, pixie dust, hope that we can actually get this thing out the door today. My name is Lisa. I am your humble host. This is our 4th episode. I am excited. I've got some new branding that I'm launching today. Major applause to my very, very, very bestie of all best friends that is supporting me with that and all of her talent in the design world. So bear with me as we're just kind of evolving, week over week, doing this thing. I'm a mom of 3. I'm a corporate person. Yay. And this is my passion. All things Disney, all things Walt Disney World. I am trying to work through some technical challenges. I had some challenges with the microphone and recording in the last episode. So one thing after another, microphone, video, something is trying to stop me, but I will persevere. I am here. I have a dream and I'm not going to give up. Not going to give up. Walt Disney didn't give up. So here I am. I have some great content prepared today. If you've followed me for a little bit or watched any previous episodes, my goal here, I think initially, is just to give you education and a solid foundation around what is Walt Disney World? How big is it? How do I navigate it? Today, we're going to take a look at where you can stay on Walt Disney World property. Actually, let me jump into our little agenda here. So we'll go through our resort guide. I'm going to share some of my Disney mom hacks, particularly as we are getting ready to go on our big family annual Walt Disney World vacation in just a couple of weeks. So all of these are very top of mind to me right now. It is a loosely organized chaos in my household with packing and like life and kids and kindergarten graduation and all this stuff. So why not just, add a podcast and share some things that I do to help keep me sane while we're traveling to the most magical place on earth. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of it all, I typically start my episodes with what I call Sparks Notes, and this is really just a monologue, cheesy monologue for me to get us into the vibe, the Disney magic learning vibe, just the right mind space that you're here to chill, put in your earbuds, grab a cup of Joe or whatever, and let's just begin our podcast journey today, shall we? So I thought that why not explore our relatively new Walt Disney Company CEO? And the hook here is how this new CEO could change everything. Like, technically, it could change everything. Okay. So let's get into our Sparks notes for today. Picture this for a second. You're standing on Main Street, USA at Magic Kingdom. The music is playing, the popcorn smells are somehow perfect. Cast members are smiling like they're genuinely happy you're there. And somewhere behind the scenes, thousands upon thousands of decisions are being made every single minute to keep the Disney machine moving. Now, here's the wild part most guests never think about. The person ultimately responsible for all of it, the parks, the movies, Disney Plus, ESPN, cruises, merchandise, Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, Hulu, resorts, Broadway shows, technology, guest experience, and even the popcorn buckets, is now someone who actually came from this world. Not Wall Street, not television, not Hollywood. The new CEO of the Walt Disney Company is Josh D'Amaro, pictured here. And for Disney fans, this is a really fascinating moment in Disney history. Because for the first time in a long time, the person leading Disney is someone whose DNA feels deeply rooted in the experience side of Disney. And honestly, that matters more than people may realize. Disney is not just a movie company anymore. It's barely even accurate to call it a theme park company. Disney today is really this giant interconnected ecosystem built around intellectual property and emotional connection. A Marvel movie doesn't just become a movie, it becomes a ride, a Disney Plus series, a cruise ship experience, a popcorn bucket, a lounge fly backpack, a meet and greet, a fireworks projection, a hotel theme, a video game, a million Instagram reels. Disney monetizes stories better than arguably any company on earth. And managing that kind of empire is unbelievably complicated. Most people don't realize Disney is structured almost like several giant corporations living under one roof. You have Disney Entertainment, which is movies, streaming, and television. You have ESPN and sports. You have Disney Experiences, which is the parks, resorts, cruise line, vacation operations. Then you have all the corporate infrastructure sitting on top of it: finance, technology, strategy, legal, HR, data, consumer products. And above all of that sits the CEO. Now, historically, Disney CEOs have come from very different backgrounds. Bob Iger, probably one of the most respected media CEOs of the modern era, was deeply rooted in television and strategic acquisitions. He's the architect behind Disney buying Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, and most of 21st Century Fox. And honestly, without Bob Iger, modern Disney probably doesn't exist in the form we know it today. But Josh D'Amaro is different. He spent decades climbing through Disney experiences: Disneyland, Walt Disney World, consumer products, resorts, operations. And eventually he became chairman of Disney Experiences, right during one of the hardest periods in company history. Anyone guess what it is? Maybe we shouldn't talk about that right now. It's done. It's never happening again. Uh, the pandemic. The pandemic. We're all familiar. 2020. What a time. And whether people agreed with every Disney decision or not during that time, D'Amaro built a reputation internally as someone who was visible, personable, calm under pressure, and very operationally focused. Cast members generally like him. Fans generally liked him. And Wall Street liked that the parks division kept generating enormous profits even while Disney's streaming business was under pressure. So when Disney finally named him CEO in March of 2026, it signaled something really important. Disney appears to be entering an era where experiences are not just part of the business. They may become the center of the business strategy. And honestly, since March, when D'Amaro was named, we've already started to see clues about what this Josh D'Amaro era might look like. One of the biggest themes so far has been something Disney keeps referring to internally as One Disney. Basically, Disney wants the walls between divisions to matter less. They want Disney Plus connected more tightly to the parks. They want ESPN integrated into streaming subscriptions. They want technology and personalization driving guest experiences. They want consumer data flowing more seamlessly across the company. And that sounds exciting, right? But it also comes with tension. Because almost immediately after taking over, D'Amaro oversaw layoffs impacting roughly 1,000 employees across areas like marketing, Marvel, ESPN, and technology. It's one thing people are always fearful of when there's some kind of corporate change, right? Now, compared to Disney's overall workforce, that's not enormous, but symbolically, it was significant because it told everyone Josh D'Amaro may be the friendly parks guy, but he is also willing to make difficult corporate and operational decisions. And I think that's what makes this moment at Disney so interesting. Disney is trying to balance two identities at the same time. On one hand, magic, storytelling, creativity, emotional connection. On the other, streaming economics, AI, operational efficiency, centralized technology, and shareholder pressure. And the question of the next decade might really become, can Disney modernize without losing the emotional magic that made people fall in love with it in the first place? Nobody is better in the world at making people feel something than Disney. And Josh Tomorrow might be uniquely positioned to understand that because, unlike many corporate leaders, he didn't just inherit Disney as a business. He spent years operating inside the environments where guests actually experience the magic firsthand. And honestly, that may end up defining this entire next chapter of Disney history. And that, my friends, is your opening Sparks notes for today. Positive news. We are still recording, people. We're still in business. I got through the whole opening without having to restart the whole thing. So that's great. I'm honestly excited. I always think it's great to have leadership that understands and that isn't out of touch. I mean, I could go on and on all day about this. I am a corporate girl. I've been through leadership changes. I've been in board meetings. I've been through acquisitions, and I get the context of this, and I get the implications and what is at stake here. And I think it may be to everyone's benefit, for the most part, that a parks guy is running Disney now, and he might be the best person to fully integrate both sides of the house there. I actually remember, I think it was on our last trip or maybe two trips ago. I think we were staying at the Grand Floridian, and on the resort TV there was a like an introduction video by him. I mean, he definitely, camera loves him. Nice looking gentleman, articulated, can speak to the people. So I can totally understand how he has a friendly persona with both guests, fans, and employees. He seems to be a good person to be the face, if nothing else. So, best of luck to you, Mr. Demaro, CEO, and you have our full support here at Mama Sparks. Let's continue, and hopefully that was fun for you. That was interesting. You learned a little bit. Without further ado, we want to jump into our resort overview. So I like to pull up this image at the top of an episode just to, again, set the stage, familiarize yourself with the span of Walt Disney World so you can see the overall Walt Disney World map here on screen. The resorts are divided or classified in a couple of different ways. Primarily by resort area, like what's their hub theme park or attraction, and then by resort type. So the resort areas are pretty basic. You're going to have your Magic Kingdom area resorts, obviously very close to Magic Kingdom. Then you have your Epcot / Hollywood Studios, and that's because they are next door neighbors, essentially. You see the Epcot Spaceship Earth kind of in the middle, the center of Disney World, and Hollywood Studios is right below with our iconic Hollywood Tower Hotel there. So we have that resort area where you're close to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Then we have Animal Kingdom resort area, which is off to the far left. Is all your Animal Kingdom space. And then on the opposite side of the map, we have the Disney Springs resort area. And we last episode focused on Disney Springs Shopping Entertainment District and what that means. So those are the different areas where you'll find the resorts categorized. Now let's get into the types, and this is what a lot of people care about because it matters in terms of money, right? So top of the chain, you've got your deluxe resorts and deluxe villas, most expensive on property. Then we have our moderate, kind of mid-tier resorts, a little bit more economical, not as cheap, but they're in the middle. And then we have our value. So when you're on a budget, you look at the value resorts for the best bang for your buck on where to sleep at night. And then we've got some Disney Vacation Club and hybrid villas available as well. This can get a little bit complex when we're looking at what has a villa, what doesn't have a villa, what is DVC, things like that. I don't want to get in the weeds. I'm certainly happy to answer any specific questions via email or comment at other times. And maybe I'm not the best one to answer the question, but I can help you navigate it. So I just want to give you the overall like bird's eye view of your resort options. Okay. So we're going to jump into it with our deluxe resorts and deluxe villa resorts. And I hope I can read this adequately. This isn't beautiful, and I'll be honest, I don't have a ton of pretty visuals to accommodate what I'm going to talk through today, mostly for sake of time, because I quite literally have a million things running through my mind at every second right now. But it's a nice reference point. I like to give you guys some things that you can snippet as well. So maybe I'll actually pull myself down now so you can have the full screen. I like to remember to do that for kindness. Nobody wants to save my face. We don't need that. Now you can snippet this slide here. Okay, so we're just going to kind of walk down the list here. So Disney intentionally designs resorts almost like micro theme parks. The deluxe resorts emphasize more immersion, premium convenience. So that can be convenience in terms of access or entry to theme parks, but also convenience. Like I'll use one example. I believe I am absolutely correct here, but the only Disney resort that offers room service, like you order something, it's delivered to your house, is the Grand Floridian. Your house, oh my God. You order something, it's delivered to your room. Room service, standard room service, sorry. Delivered to your room. Grand Floridian being the only resort that has that convenience capability, that option. And that's great for me because that is where we're staying on our next trip. So that's something to keep in mind with the deluxe resorts. So starting with the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, the theme vibe is Victorian seaside luxury. I'm gonna pull myself back up because why not? That's about 870 rooms slash villas. And of course, this is nearest to the Magic Kingdom. You can access Magic Kingdom and Epcot by monorail from Disney's Grand Floridian. Average nightly rate, $750 to $1,400. This is really going to vary. All of these nightly rates are very much going to vary dependent on the season and of course the demand for that time. Holidays, summer, anytime kids are out and major holidays, things like that are going to be more packed, higher demand. There's a thought that the earlier you book, the better rate that you get. You definitely want to shop around, and we could probably do a whole episode just around how best to approach, shopping for your resort stay, your vacation stay, but I digress. So Grand Floridian, very classic, Victorian architecture, very Floridian, white building, the terracotta roofs. Think piano music as you stroll into the lobby. Beautiful flower arrangements, classy but modern, Mary Poppins-esque themes throughout the lobby and the resort. It recently has undergone a lot of refurbishment. I am very excited because our upcoming stay will be our first stay in the newly renovated lobby. And that does include a new lobby bar, which is controversial because it replaced an iconic icon. Yeah, that's my brain today. Within the lobby, it was this big bird cage. And now it's like a bird cage kind of shaped bar. So that's new. This is my favorite. This is my favorite Walt Disney World resort. I don't know how many of you are like around my age, or if any of you have heard of like a show that used to be on TGIF called Full House. I grew up watching that show, and I was like around Michelle Tanner's age. And I will never forget, like I still watch it sometimes, the episodes when they went to Disney. And, you got Uncle Jesse and everyone, and like DJ and Steve, this whole like love saga. And they stayed at the Grand Floridian. I think a lot of like 90s sitcoms went and filmed at Disney World and at the Grand as well. And so Josh, bring that back. Whew, bring that back. Look at your high performing media assets, sitcoms, TV shows. Start filming at the places where you want to drive your crowds into the parks. I'm telling you. Because that will never leave me. It's been I'm 40 years old now. And it was like solidified into my brain that to experience Disney World right, I have to stay at the Grand Floridian. And it just so happens to be one of the pricier places to stay. So it is my favorite for sure. We've stayed there many times now. And fortunately, the first time that I took my husband to Disney World, I had us stay at Grand Floridian, and we could never do anything else. We have tried the Polynesian, and Polynesian is great too. But anyway, um, next on the list is Disney's Contemporary Resort. This one's vibe is modern, retro, futurism. It's this big tower. It's also Magic Kingdom area, also monorail access. So similarly, it's that same monorail loop. You can take the monorail to Magic Kingdom, to Epcot. Um, it's generally a little bit cheaper, I would say, just from my own shopping experiences. Um, it doesn't have the charm that I like to look for, but if you're into like a very clean, modern, minimal aesthetic with like a futuristic kind of vibe, that might be for you. It is still a very classic, iconic Disney resort because it's been there for so long. Like it is its own icon in and of itself. It's definitely fun to visit if you're not staying there. Um, you you may have heard of this dining experience. Chef Mickey's is located within the lobby of the Disney's Contemporary. That's a character dining experience that is kind of open air within the lobby, so you can actually see the monorail above you. Driving across the lobby, that's great. They've got rooftop restaurants where you can have great firework viewing at night from the restaurants. So um, great choice for sure. Great to be on the monorail hub. It is still an icon. It's just a little bit of a different vibe, but it may be more available and less cost intensive if you're looking to stay in the Magic Kingdom area. And I'll try to call out some of the dining and things like that as we go down the list too, but again, don't want to get too in the weeds today. Next on the list is Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. This is South Pacific Tropical Escape. So think you're in like Hawaii, right? Very Lilo and Stitch. We have Ohana's restaurant is located here where you can have breakfast with Lilo and Stitch. Very relaxed, tropical, lush vibes. You know, you've got water fountains, you have plenty of palm trees and beautiful tropical plants all over the place. Tiki torches at night, white sand beaches, hammocks, big pools. All of these have great pools, by the way. Um, so that's definitely the vibe here. If you want to feel like you're at Disney's Aulani in Hawaii, then you want to stay at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. This is also, again, Magic Kingdom area. It is on the monorail loop. You just go into the main lobby up to the second floor, get on the monorail, again, can take you to Magic Kingdom or Epcot. This one is very similar to Grand Floridian in terms of the average nightly rate. It does seem to be more difficult to get into. Now, as I mentioned, we have stayed ourselves at Polynesian 2 times. What I don't like about it, elevators, guys. Whew. If you're a mom, if you have a double stroller, it's questionable. Okay. This was a challenge. There were many times when at the end of the day, my husband and I would have to separate in order to get back up to our room because we couldn't all fit into the hotel room building elevators. Those little original buildings that they have, they are largely original. The elevators are very, very tight. So, you know, it is older at this point. It's also gone through some recent refurbishments and updates, but for me, that was no, that killed it. I'm a convenience girl. I need efficiency. I need to be able to go about my day as I need to go about it. Time is precious. And that it wasn't for me. It's also very like darker aesthetics. So like the wood, the paneling, things like that. It just feels, it's more like a nighttime feel. Whereas like Disney's Grand Floridian resort rooms are very light, white, airy. And so something about I do love it. Like I love visiting it, but a little bit darker vibe, a little bit older vibe. Still a classic, of course. I think what actually ultimately sealed the nail on the coffin for me and my family, where we will honestly never stay at the Polynesian again. Our last trip we did dual stay. So our first half we stayed at the Polynesian, our second half we stayed at the Grand Floridian. And thank God we had it planned that way because I was so ready to be done at the Polynesian. We And this was the trip when I was like 7 or 8 months pregnant. The day that we arrived, first of all, we had the longest wait ever to get assigned a room. Like longest wait ever. I've never experienced that before. We're all like exhausted. I'm pregnant. We're just hanging out on the beach, like sitting on top of our luggage. Um, because we didn't want to have like the concierge hold the luggage because we've also had issues in the past where they lost a bag for a while. So we had all of our luggage with us. We're just like hanging out in the sun. The kids are exhausted. We were on the airplane for hours waiting for our room. Our room finally is ready. We like try to get refreshed. We take the monorail. We go to the Contemporary. We had dinner at Chef Mickey's, which was wonderful. And then while we were at Chef Mickey's, um, I had organized for a company to come and decorate our room. That was a thing. You could have companies go into your room, you would assign them a key, and they could decorate it for you. And we were celebrating my daughter's third birthday. So I had this person from this business given access to our room, which also was delayed because the room assignment delay, but gave her access to go and like surprise the family, surprise my daughter with this big, frozen display of birthday stuff. And because of all the delays after dinner, I had to stall. So everyone is like dragging, dead tired. And I'm like, we gotta watch the fireworks from the beach, guys, because I couldn't let them go back to our room. And finally, like it all gets done. It's super late. We're like ready to just pass out. We get back to the room and they loved the decorations. It was great. And Chef Mickey's was great too. But everyone passes out. And in the middle of the night, my son, my 5-year-old at the time, woke up just projectile vomiting. And I was like, oh God. Oh my God. It's happening. It had never happened to us before, but we got one of the worst stomach bug virus things I have ever experienced in my life. I mean, and it took a while. It went through all of us and then back around again. And I'm pregnant. And we're like all heaving all over the place. And so I think by the end of like day 4, we're like, all of our plans are screwed, like out the window. We're just trying to stay alive. Um, and once we started feeling like better and we turned the corner and it was our time to leave Polynesian, thank God at that time too. Um, I was just so ready to be done. Like the whole place, I just associated with the smell of vomit, and I'm like, I just get me out of here. And we finally got to Grand Floridian, where it was all light wood and airy and peaceful, and like day sunshine and daytime. I was like, thank God, now our vacation can start over. So as a side note, you can get sick at Disney World. It happens sometimes. It sucks. Like honestly, I lost some money. We ended up having to extend our stay, but fortunately we could. I mean, it sucks. It's hard. You're like you're just stuck in your room. I had to like DoorDash, water and Pedialyte and all that stuff. But I survived, and I will say the silver lining to getting sick at Disney, if you're like stuck in your room, hunkered down, just trying to breathe and stay alive, silver lining, you're not at home, right? So that means you can't really do laundry or like clean up after yourself entirely, right? You don't have work. You don't have any normal daily responsibilities. You don't have appointments. You don't have pets to take care of. You don't have to do dishes. So, like, in a way, it's almost convenient if you're going to get sick on vacation at Disney because all you can focus on really is just like keeping yourself alive, resting. And then, kind of unfortunately, like I went through a lot of towels, I went through a lot of sheets, and I did order like Lysol and Lysol sanitizing spray and all that stuff so I could, clean things up. Trying to not just like, here's all my germs, maid service people. I did try to do that myself, but at the end of the day, I had to really just be like, hey, sorry, like here's 5,000 sheets that we've destroyed within 6 hours. Please bring us 10,000 more. So that is a benefit to getting sick at Walt Disney World. You have room service sometimes. You have cleaning services and things like that, and delivery of food and necessities. So you can really focus on getting better as quickly as you can. All right. Take it from me. It does happen. Moving along, Disney's Wilderness Lodge. Never stayed here before personally. Pacific Northwest National Park Lodge is the vibe. I haven't stayed here. I have had the character dining here, which is Artist's Point, where you can have dinner with Snow White and Dopey and get to visit with the Evil Queen. She is evil. She will not smile at you. She will probably make your baby cry. Okay? She's very in character, very in character. But I highly recommend. That was a super fun dining experience for us. This one is in the Magic Kingdom area. It's on the Seven Seas Lagoon, but it is accessible to Magic Kingdom only by boat. So if you're staying at Wilderness Lodge, you can take the boat to Magic Kingdom or you can take the bus, but you don't have a monorail. Okay. And so that also means that in order to get to the other theme parks, you're taking a bus or a car if you're driving your own vehicle, obviously. Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge is the flagship resort right next to the Animal Kingdom theme park. This has access to a large safari area. There's actually two with savannas. And so if you are to book a room with savanna view, you will have an overlook balcony or patio. I think it actually is all balconies because the animals onto the safari. So you wake up in the morning and be like, "Good morning, zebras." And giraffes and all that fun stuff. So that is beautiful. I have stayed here several times. I love it. It's very large, very spacious. It does feel like you're within the Animal Kingdom theme park. I love the animals. They have really good dining. It's newer-ish. The only thing for me personally is that it's, if you remember the map, Animal Kingdom is like way kind of on the outskirts in its own little world. So again, I'm a convenience girly. I have young kids. We go to every park. For me, I have to be on the monorail. So when they're older and it's easier for us to bus it, I'll go back to Animal Kingdom Lodge, but it's just not for our family at this time. This is a little bit more reasonable, 550 to 1100 per night range. So highly, highly, highly recommend that. They do have optional villas as well. It's usually one of the easiest places to book a villa. Like if you're looking for a room, you have a large family and you're looking for maybe a two-bedroom or a suite of some sort or a villa, this is easier. I always have the hardest time. It's very rarely ever available at the point I'm looking to get any sort of a two-bedroom at Grand Floridian, for example. And that is going to be an issue, I feel like, as the kids get older. Right now, we're like, we're at our capacity as they get older. We're going to have to either do two-room reservations or find a suite that's two bedrooms plus down the road. But that's for me to worry about, not for you. The next three, four are all in the Epcot / Hollywood Studios area. The first one is Disney's Yacht Club Resort. This is a New England yacht club style, so a little bit more adult vibes. And I would say that all of these resorts around Epcot and Hollywood Studios are a little bit more suited to adult guests. Those are, generally more adult type theme parks, I would suppose, less younger children. So the yacht club, the beach club, the boardwalk are all kind of more sophisticated, upscale, adult type vibe to them. They're all around the same price range. Yacht Club, you can walk or boat to Epcot Hollywood Studios. Actually, I think there's a way that you could technically walk or take a boat to majority of them from each of these. Beach Club, Newport Beach Resort. These are like literally right all next to each other. Boardwalk Inn. This one is a fun one. The Boardwalk Inn is themed to a 1920s Atlantic City boardwalk, and it's a great like entertainment district in its own capacity. So even if you're never going to stay there or you're just interested, it is almost like its own attraction for you to go explore at nighttime. You can rent four-person bicycles. You can go on little boats. There's tons of dining. There is some like fun entertainment. We shall see. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Um, but hey, you guys are understanding, right? Things happen. At least I'm not throwing up at the Polynesian right now. I'm just trying to host a podcast. I don't even know what I was saying. But please check out Boardwalk Inn. It's super fun, nightlife. So all of those are your Epcot Hollywood Studios deluxe options. Disney Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. Nope, there's only two spas listed here. So GF actually has a spa. You can get a massage. Same with Saratoga Springs, okay? This one is upstate New York horse racing retreat themed. Again, a little bit more adult. It is a newer resort. So that's a good option. Oh, I did want to know Riviera. I don't think I focused on that one yet. European Riviera Elegance. I think it's like 90% sure it's the newest outside of a new tower that they built for a contemporary. Um, but Riviera does have character dining as well. They have Topolino's Terrace, which we have not done, but I hear it's amazing. Um, so that's really nice, sharp, modern, updated, but more elegant, European vibes, Riviera vibes to it. Okay. Saratoga Springs, as I was jumping into, I have stayed here once. I do think I enjoyed it. I remember pools being cool, restaurants were okay, like nothing to write home about from my experience, but it's there too. Old Key West, this is only on here because it does have a deluxe villa available. But it's older. I mean, I generally like. I was actually thinking it was a moderate resort, but because of its ability to offer the deluxe villa, it's included here. So it is older for sure. This is very relaxed Florida Keys vibes. So like slow pace, retirement age vibes. Okay, if you're 65 and up, married couple, go stay at Old Key West. Okay. Um, what else did I want to say about books? I think that's it. I want to be mindful of time and get through the bulk of this here, especially if I have to do this all over again. So let's keep going, shall we? Moving on to our moderate, and no further list is going to be as extensive as it was for the deluxe. So not as many to get through here. So moderates blend transportation, moderates balance transportation and atmosphere. So they are giving you some of that convenience in terms of your proximity to things. Um, yeah, but they're, obviously less money. None of them do have the direct monorail access. Okay. If you want to be on the monorail, you have to be a deluxe. But here's your moderates. Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. Very, obviously Caribbean Island Village theme. I'm a big fan of Caribbean Beach. I like it. A bonus for this one, it is on the Epcot Hollywood Studios, in the Epcot Hollywood Studios area, and you have access to the Skyliner. That means you can take the Skyliner to both of those theme parks, okay? Next, we have Disney's Coronado Springs. This is my favorite of the moderates. Coronado Springs almost feels to me like a deluxe. I don't know. I can't even tell you why. It's just the vibes are giving me like fringe deluxe. Okay, it's Spanish colonial Southwest style. This is in the Animal Kingdom slash Epcot area, so kind of on the opposite side of Epcot, closer to Animal Kingdom, like in the middle of those two, which is good for convenience if you're going to both of those areas. They have a really cool like food court dining thing. I'm not good with words today, guys. Where it's like this giant dining like food court, but I think you pay, no, you don't pay in advance. You tell them like how many people in your party and they give you like these trays and you can just go around to all these different like carving stations and Mexican themed and um, all these different types of foods like American, um, and there's dessert stands. There's just tons of food from my memory recollection. It's been a very long time since I've stayed there, but really enjoyed the food there. I think the shopping was great. I remember the pools, and it's around water. There were a lot of like walking paths around the water that was just nice and relaxing and serene, and hammocks. I just have random memories, I think, of being in like middle school with my whole family staying there. And me and my sister, it was after an Epcot day. We would always go to like the Haribo candy area in Epcot in Germany and just load up on like gummy bears and all this junk. And then by the end of the night, like walking back in Coronado Springs to get back to our room with my parents, we were like high off our high knees from sugar and just like being slap happy. So I just have this memory of like being at Coronado, walking along the paths and like just continuing to just stuff our faces with gummy bears and like laugh hysterically. And I'm sure my parents were like either really, really annoyed or loving it because it was the magic of watching their two almost grown up daughters just giggling to death. But that's again, one of my personal anecdotes here. So maybe that is why I love Coronado so much, and I feel like it's a higher scale. It could all be my own perception, but I do highly recommend it to you. Moving down the list, we have Disney's Port Orleans Resort. There are two pieces to this. One is a Riverside, and that's a Louisiana Bayou and Southern Mansion vibe. So think of Tiana. Well, I mean, I guess they both kind of are. The French Quarter is more a New Orleans jazz vibe. So you've got like the bayous and the mansion side, and then you've got the like downtown New Orleans jazzy side. But they're kind of two distinct resorts, two distinct themes technically, but they're both Port Orleans. These are near your Disney Springs area. Last on this list, I don't know if this is technically moderate, but it's here. The cabins at Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. So there are cabins available out in the wilderness that you can rent. I think they've all been recently updated. I would have to research that a little bit more. Obviously, the vibe here is like you're camping, it's rustic, it's outdoorsy. This is in Magic Kingdom area, but like, you're kind of in a remoter-ish location in this little cabin. But something I have not explored very much. Maybe somebody would like to report back to me, or if you've stayed there, please contact me, share your stories, tell me what it's like. I'm very curious, but I myself have never done that. Let's continue on to our value resorts. We've got the All-Stars. Those are the classics. All-Star movies, All-Star music, All-Star sports. Pick your fancy. See what's available for your travel date range. All-Star movies obviously is going to focus on Disney classic films and Pixar films. All of these are in the Animal Kingdom area. All the All-Stars. All the All-Stars are in the Animal Kingdom area. That's a lot of A's. Next, we have all-star music, of course, music genres, pop culture themed, and then sports, of course, sports themed, shocker. These are going to be your most economical nightly stays here at the All-Stars. Are the oldest of the values. Next, we have Pop Century, which is kind of by the decades pop culture from the 50s through the 90s. I guess they're going to have to make another one for the 2000s. This is near Epcot and Hollywood Studios. It does have Skyliner access, as well as Disney's Art of Animation, which is probably the #1 most sought after value resort because it is the newest and it has some really nice immersive theming, including in your rooms themselves. So lots of Pixar animation themed. Again, this is a Skyliner. It's on the top of the totem pole in terms of cost for value resorts because it is the newest and because of the immersive theming. So values definitely focus on family scale, bold visuals, efficiency. They all have food courts. They all have shopping. The pools are chaotic. It's all very designed for young families and large families. So like dining is easily accessible if you have a group of 20. Like if you're doing a family reunion at Disney, you're probably staying here. If you're doing a school like cheer competition or something like that, you're staying here. If you're staying on property, likely. So it's there for the scale, and it's very like childlike. It can be loud. I have more stories, but I'm not going to tell them right now. People, if you know, you know. If you know, you know of what can happen at an all-star pool bar after 10 p.m. Or just, it's great people watching. Let me just say that. It is fantastic people watching. Maybe bring a sound machine if you're staying in a room near a pool, though, okay? Because you might need to drown out some of just a little bit of noise, okay? I won't get into my personal anecdotes there. So that's a good overview, I think, of the value resorts. Just want to check my notes here real quick, make sure I'm not forgetting anything I wanted to mention here. I don't think so. Nothing critical. So let's keep going along. Keep mindful of time. Oh, I have one more. The Vacation Club Hybrid Villa Resort. So I don't have enough personal experience to share too much detail more than I have here on screen today. So I'm going to take myself down. If you want to screen cap that, sorry, I forgot to remove my face in the last slide. So if you're screen capping it, hi, I'm just going to be there. Crop me out, please. And so we've got Bay Lake Tower, which is the new tower, newish tower at Disney's Contemporary Resort. The Riviera has this Disney's Polynesian villas and bungalows. These are over water bungalows that are insanely expensive. They look beautiful. If you want to, like, if you're curious, please go to YouTube and like type in like room tour Polynesian over water bungalow and watch the video. It looks amazing, but I am never gonna stay there unless somebody gifts it to me. Copper Creek Villas and Cabins at Wilderness Lodge. So those are some villas and cabins available. More expensive, obviously. And then there are villas at Disney's Boardwalk. All right. Now I think that actually wraps it up on the resort overview. There will be more to come. I'm going to do some deep dives on things that I feel adequate and competent enough to deep dive on. Post our next trip, I'm definitely going to have a whole bunch of content specific to the Grand Floridian, doing room tours and lobby tours and walking tours and just sharing everything that there is to know and how all of our experience went at the GF. So stay tuned for that for sure. All right, let's continue on. Disney mom hacks. I hope I can speak to this appropriately with my scatterbrain today. So I'm going to work left to right with just some quick tips and tricks preparing for Disney World as a mom or experiencing it while you're there. Let's start with outfit planning. People can get stuck on this. Moms can get stuck on this. Even myself, I feel pressure sometimes now that I have to like have it all together, and we've got to have all like the matching outfits. And there was a time where we did like family matching t-shirts or like families of characters and things like that. And it does become a little overwhelming. I mean, you can see on Pinterest and all over the place, all these different ideas. So just try not to get overwhelmed. My tip, especially understanding like what happens when you come back and you're trying to put together like frameable photos, or maybe you're like me and you order photo books, like printed photo albums. What matters is how you're going to pull those pictures together for an aesthetically pleasing page presentation of them. Okay. So it doesn't have to be themed characters, but my goal is that when I get back and I'm looking at all my pictures and I'm trying to organize them to like post to Facebook and then to create photo books, I want it to all look like on the same palette. Okay. So I plan our outfits according to, do we look nice together? Like, is it complementary colors? Little hints of things in each other's outfits that we can draw from. And then does that match the general aesthetics of where we're going for that day? So for example, most of my trip upcoming is pastels. Pastels just win. They go with almost every backdrop, almost every theme park. Like pastels are easy. Um, so that's kind of what we're doing. It's just a rotation of palettes day over day. And we all have like a variety of different characters. Of course, me and my daughter are more like princessy vibes. And then the kids are more like Star Wars and Toy Story vibes, things like that. But it's all like cohesive palettes for each day. But the one time that I would typically dress in like Disney classic colors, like the black and white and red, the only time that I myself do that anymore or would do that is going to Chef Mickey's or something like that, where I know I'm going to be taking a lot of pictures that have complementary character costume colors. And that's just how my brain works. So we will only like we really do. I plan our daily color palettes according to our surroundings, just because I know the end goal. I mean, of course, this isn't the ultimate end goal of why we're there, but the end goal for me is to have a nice pictures that are like aesthetically pleasing in my photo book that I design and have printed. So that's a different way of approaching it. Instead of all the matchy, just choose a palette per day. Packing. We buy a lot of souvenirs. If you're gonna be one of those people and you don't want to pay for shipping, which is an option, is if you're buying like hefty, large scale things, you can have it shipped directly home. If you don't want to pay for that, one thing is to nest a suitcase. So when you're traveling out, use a larger luggage piece and then put like a medium luggage piece inside of it and then pack some things inside the medium one. You get it? So you're nesting. And then when you return, you have that extra luggage piece available to pack souvenirs. Alternatively, as a mother, as somebody that has any kids in diapers, pack the suitcase full of all their crap that you're going to use up while you're there. So diapers, wipes, snacks, any disposable items, fill it up in one suitcase, and now you're going to go through all that stuff, and so you have a full suitcase to bring back. Um, Try to think of how you're going to unpack things when you get to the resort and where it's going to live, and then what your daily routine in life is going to look like. For me, I'm like do, 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 do in my head, like bopping around, but like that's what I do. I know the room layout of where we're going, and so I kind of like walk through like, what am I going to do when we get there? I'm going to want all the diaper stuff together. I'm going to want to have my hanging bag of things for the bathroom. And I like everything is like classified, categorized to where it needs to live. And then it's in a little bundle or a package or a bag, whether it's a Ziploc or like a nice, formal cloth bag, whatever. As much as I can, I have it all segmented. I have it all labeled, and then it is packaged for convenience. And then our outfits. I put all of them together. So I stack like from the littlest kid up through my husband, and we stack day after day. So each day you're pulling out that set of outfit or attire, whatever you may need. All the swing stuff goes together, etc. So lots and lots of different bags. I'm also going to try on this trip vacuum sealing things. So like once I pack all the outfits, I'm gonna seal it up. So just a couple of things on packing from me. Room setup. So similarly, something I have found that really helps for me is again having like designated areas that things live in when we get to the room. So I am the CEO of unpacking. I'm the CEO of all things Disney World Vacation, let's be honest. But when we get back, that is my job. Like, husband, take children, go run around, explore. I don't care what you do, just get out of here. And for 20 minutes, I'm unpacking and I'm assigning where things live so that as we're operating, it's easier. But maybe I am type A. I don't know. I'm trying. Sometimes I need to be, sometimes I don't want to be. But it's about efficiency and convenience for me. Okay. Other thing with small children, those like foldable, collapsible bins. We all see them. They're at Target, right? They go in like those white cube wooden things. Those fold up really nicely, and you can pack a couple of them and then just pop them up. Throw diaper. We've done like one of those for diapers and wipes because we don't want to use a whole drawer for that. Do one for all like your sunscreen crap. Do one for toys, like whatever. But I bring like 2 to 4, and then you have some like storage organization support while you're there because there's only so many drawers and hanging space. Okay. Another thing that works well, I have not done this, but I've seen it a lot. The hanging shoe organizers that like go on the back of a door. Apparently, you can get them at like Dollar Tree or Dollar General, wherever you want to buy it. People will pack those like a light plastic cheapy one and hang it up over a door, and then you can slide things like hair supplies and sunscreen or socks or whatever in that hanging thing. So, find what works for you, research. But again, the goal is that you get there and you're efficient so that you don't have to be worrying about finding things and you just like move quickly. And so you're more relaxed. Okay. That's the goal. Next tip for me, this is critical. Amazon delivery. I know there are other grocery delivery services in the area, but I feel like most majority people have Amazon accounts. We will never not do this. And something I do in advance is that within my Amazon Prime account, I look up where I'm staying and I save that address so that as soon as we arrive the day of, we typically land at the airport, deboard, and as we're like taking the mirrors transportation to the resort, I'm ordering everything that I need delivered to the room. We do a lot of like produce. I like to bring snacks into the parks. We like to eat relatively healthy, and it saves a ton of money. So we always do a bunch of like produce and snacks, and always, always, always multiple cases of bottled water and like the giant jugs of water. I will not drink resort tap water. I'm not drinking anything out of those faucets. I trust Disney. I don't think they're going to kill me with their water. I love their water system. It's very sophisticated, but I don't like it. Anywhere I stay, if I'm not at my house, I'm not drinking water out of a tap. So we always order a ton of bottled water, and usually multiple times throughout our stay, we'll keep replenishing the water. So those are the tips. It's just easier in advance if you're going to do something like this, like have it set up so that when you get there, you're not sitting in your room wasting time trying to Google like, oh, how this is going to work. Um, We'll just see. Hopefully, I get to use it. So, setting up in advance the address of the resort so you're not wasting time when you're there trying to scramble and see, like, what's the address of the Polynesian? Let me type it in, save it, all that. So, highly recommend doing that. And of course, you can order anything. If you forgot clothes, if you forgot underwear, if you need diapers, it's all like Amazon is Amazon, right? And they will typically deliver to the front desk, and then you can either go and pick it up or you can pay a nominal fee to have the doorbell service or the concierge bring it to your room. Last is stroller setup. For those of you that are using strollers, bags and bags and bags. I mentioned this on a past episode. Particularly if you're boarding a bus, you have to be able to fold your stroller for the transportation. So you want everything in bags. I mean, I just have like a million bags that I'm bringing, honestly, between packing things in bags and then having bags for the stroller. Stroller hooks, stroller bags, stroller signs, and stroller lights are things I have not talked about. I'll probably put a picture up at a later time or share it on my Instagram. I always take twinkle lights, battery operated like fairy lights, a string of those. You could do multicolored or changing colors. And I twist it around the top of the stroller on the handle so that at nighttime it's super fun for the kids and it's also easy to see the stroller and find it if we need to. So I do fairy lights, battery operated fairy lights that go across the handle, and I always have our family stroller sign on it. So that again, our stroller is easily recognizable. I have like hanging signs. I've done a sign up on like a flag, a pendant sign before that hooked onto our handle. But why this is important if you don't know, you will experience, you will witness and engage with the largest sea volume of strollers you have ever witnessed in your entire life. Okay? So many strollers everywhere, nonstop strollers. And there's stroller parking. And if you're gonna go on a ride, you gotta park your stroller. Okay? When you get off the ride, or you decide to go back to your stroller, there is a high chance it's not going to be where you left it. And that is by design. Disney cast members go in periodically to the stroller parking zones and they rearrange to free up space, to make it easy to navigate, condense everything. So there are designated rows. There's designated stroller parking. If you're going to leave your stroller, you have to leave it in a designated parking stroller zone, but it will likely be moved by the time you get back to it. So it's important that your stroller is recognizable. Again, it just makes things quicker for you. We're about efficiency, we're about convenience. You want to be like, oh, there's my stroller right there. I know the color of my sign, I know my lights. Then you can grab it. And a lot of people do rent strollers or use like the Disney theme park available rental strollers so they can all look the same. So even if you're going to rent, like bring something that helps you identify it, like a suitcase. Um, what else is I going to say about strollers? I had another note. It came into my mind and then it left. It's crazy how that happens. I was going to say something else. Stroller rentals, Oh, people, I've seen a lot of questions about should I leave anything in the stroller while we park it? Is it going to get stolen? And of course, like safety, of course, if there's anything like of material value, you don't want to leave it because there's a real risk that could get lost or stolen. I will say that I leave stuff on ours all the time and I've never had anyone steal anything. But I'm not leaving like anything like a more than a $200 camera, or I would never leave my cell phone, obviously, like wallet, magic bands, things like that. I would not leave in the stroller, but I'll leave our snacks, I'll leave our ponchos, I'll leave our bubble wands. I leave merchandise that we buy sometimes in bags under there. I have never had anyone steal anything, but I maybe am a little more trusting, or it's like just not worth the burden of me taking that stuff with me. So I'm like, oh, I'll take a little gamble and leave it in the stroller. Another thing some people do that are maybe way more type A than me is they get air tags to keep either on their stroller or on their diaper bag or backpack. So that if they do leave things unattended, they have the air tag and they can track it. I don't do that, but of course, it's up to you. If you would like to do that, you could do that. So those are just some of my high level, top of mind Disney mom hacks. If you want to give me a follow on Instagram, I do have, I'll be sharing a lot of like short form content of this kind of stuff on my page and in my reels. So I would appreciate the follow there too. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this. The more engagement that I get here on YouTube, just the more traction that the program is going to get. Not to be all fancy schmancy, but it is free. Just click a button. I would appreciate it. Hopefully this actually makes it out into the world. I don't know with all my technical challenges, but faith, trust, and pixie dust. Let's make it happen. I hope you guys have a really, truly magical day. Thank you for listening in, and I am going to leave you, as always, as usual, with a quote from the man himself. Actually, sorry, I'm totally lying right now. I was just so used to saying that. I'm leaving you with a quote from not Walt Disney, from the Cheshire Cat. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.